Have you been told by your doctor, dietitian, or even family member that eating fried food is harmful, but you just love the taste of fried foods? If that's true, I have some good news for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Hampton, a board-certified family and obesity medicine doctor with a master's in nutrition and functional medicine. And today, I wanted to share why frying food in oil is not as bad as you once thought. I totally understand that some of the studies of the past may have suggested that frying food can be harmful, but what the studies don't clarify are the circumstances under which these foods were cooked. So what I found is that the frying in and of itself is not the biggest concern, but there are other factors that matter even more. The first factor is the type of food that you're frying does matter, and as a general rule, I encourage you not to use high-carb foods when you're frying. Donuts have 43 carbs, plantains have a whopping 61 carbs, and of course, one of our favorites, French fries, have 26 carbs. So instead of using foods high in carbs, try using protein instead, like chicken, steak, or even eggs. Factor 2 is what you put on your food actually matters. For example, did you know that if you have a chicken breast fried with flour on it, that's 16 carbs because of the flour? 16 divided by 4 is the equivalent of 4 teaspoons of sugar added to your chicken because of the added flour. So by simply avoiding the flour that the chicken breast was cooked in, you end up with 0 carbs, and you'll also avoid the inflammation that can also occur when you consume foods that turn into sugar, like flour. Factor 3 is the oil you choose. Most oils that people are using are highly processed vegetable oils. They are highly processed because these oils are not made from the vegetables themselves, but from the seeds of the vegetables. Isn't that crazy? This results in highly inflammatory omega-6s being produced, and the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is going to be higher. And the oils that do this are the canolas and the corn oils and the cottonseed and soy oils. They become rancid, leading to oxidative stress, body inflammation, and you know that inflammation is bad for your brain, it's bad for your heart, it increases your risk for cancer, causes weight gain, and of course the symptoms of arthritis can worsen when you have that inflammation. So I tell my patients, avoid the oils which were created from chemicals like seed oils, and instead use minimally processed oils. Let's look at some examples. So if you take an avocado and squeeze it, oil magically appears, right? So use the acronym BOCA. BOCA reminds patients that the natural oils that their ancestors ate in the past are better than these seed oils. The better oils are the butters, the olive oils, the avocado oils, the coconut oils, and use those oils. They have a lot of omega-3 and they're not processed. But I also remind my patients that when you're cooking at high temperatures, it's better to use coconut and avocado oils. They are more resistant to high temperature cooking. So you may also be asking, aren't coconut oils high in saturated fat, as an example, right? Well, that is true. Aren't they not heart healthy? Well, the reality is that the high saturated fat oils, in fact, some of the oils that I also recommend other than coconut oil are the oils that include the tallow from cows, the lard from pigs. Yes, tallow and lard is better for your heart than the highly processed oils, even with the high saturated fat content. And so I guess our moms were right. They knew about this years ago, and we're starting to go backwards, right? And I do have a low carb, what to eat, what not to eat handout. I'll share that in the show notes so you'll have that as well. But if you don't believe me, even with my master's in nutrition, what about the Journal of the College of Cardiology? Would you believe them? Maybe, maybe not. In August of 2020, they did a state-of-the-art review of saturated fats and health. Here's the highlights of this very important document that your doctor may have not read yet. Although the U.S. dietary guidelines recommend the restriction of saturated fat intake to be less than 10%, what they found when they looked at all the data is that whole fat dairy, dark chocolate, unprocessed meat, they're not associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. That's why I hardly ever follow the dietary guidelines, because they sometimes mislead us. So what are my final takeaways as I share this video in my kitchen at home? And I'll be honest with you, I don't really fry a lot of foods because I tend to use my oven that's behind me. I tend to use my slow cooker, my air fryer, which is over there in the corner. I use those instead because it's less work. But when I'm missing that taste of fried food, I keep those tips that I just shared with you in mind, because that reduced my concern and it has hopefully reduces your concern. So I don't want you to walk away from this video, thinking that cooking fried foods is the way to go. But instead, walk away knowing that if you decide to cook foods that are fried, you can feel more confident that you're not creating harm. And I want you to be mindful of that. I want you to share in the comments what fried food are you going to now cook for your family now that you have more confidence. And again, you're not going to do it all the times, but when you do it, you'll do it the right way. So if you know anybody who is obsessed with this idea that they shouldn't cook their food in oil or fried, share this video with them, because it may provide some insights, and then allow them to periodically enjoy the fried foods that they've always enjoyed. So with that, guys, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe to this video. And until the next video, continue to be safe, be well, and continue to protect your nest.